Well, hello, Facebook. It has been a minute since I have done Love with Ladette Conversations. And just to be clear, that's not what this is today.
This is a conversation with Dr. Love.
Yes, that this is not what this is today. Because I'm going to be bringing Love with Ladette Conversations back in a whole different format, everything. So that's not what this is. Today, this is the Love Doctor coming to you kind of impromptu with a special friend of mine, Tracey Noriega, with Pay It Forward. Listen, because it is Mother's Day the week of Mother's Day, she is doing this special event about, it's time to choose you, no matter what life brings at you. Give yourself permission to choose you. That's what you got to do. And I'm going to let her get into all of the details of that and everything. But I just felt like this was the perfect timing because as we were talking about it, I was like, you know what? This is the perfect timing to say, well, this is why I did It's the Self Love for Me t-shirt, because after I've chosen to choose me,
Yeah.
and and then you've chosen to do you. And, let me just give you a little background story about Tracey Noriega. She is a beautiful spirit that we met. It's been over a year. So what is it? Is it 2 years now? Going on two?
Oh God. I mean,
Maybe going
you
on
put a
six.
COVID year in there, it seems like
Yeah,
2 years, and now this one's flying by. So I don't know. We'll call it two.
yeah, we'll say two, going on 2 years back in California. And she was one of the ladies that I met at this mutual business event we went to, or whatever. And we just stayed in touch and we just really clicked and just, I mean, just have a really beautiful relationship. And Tracey, if I haven't never told you publicly, I want to tell you now. Somebody loves you, baby. I
Uh,
love you with everything in me. You have like been the side cheerleader for the Love Doctor and a unique card and Love in a Box and all those things. And I just really, really appreciate it. But today is not about me, the Love Doctor, any of those things. Today is about you. So please, please, with further ado, go ahead and tell everybody what you're doing. I wanted to share this because as moms, as first responders, as professionals, and all of this, we need to make sure we know how to choose to do us and put ourselves first. And so, without further ado, Tracey, take it over and let them
yeah.
know what you're doing so that hopefully they can sign up and just be a part of this amazing event that you're doing. So go
Well,
ahead. It's
thank
all
you,
yours.
sweetheart. Yeah, yeah. And what a perfect platform to do it with Dr. Love, who's all about self-care, self-love, and choosing you. So it really isn't about me. It's about you. And that's why I'm doing this is all of you out there. It was, and it still is something I'm learning to do. I mean, Benita and I talk about it all the time about the challenges of choosing yourself and putting yourself first, especially now starting a business. And, all of you out there who have your families, you have your kids, and maybe now you're homeschooling and you didn't like really foresee you were going to be doing that. Maybe you're working from home and with the kids and you didn't really foresee that. and just all of these things, like we're now over a year pandemic, right? And, I've always been really big about mental health and emotional health care because it's just been a thing that's prevalent in both sides of my family and even in my extended family. And all these things do require us to choose ourselves, to really feed our souls, to feed our hearts. And what happens is so many times, and that's, the beautiful discussions I've had with all of these speakers that are in this summit or retreat, however you want to call it. It's a coming together, it's messaging for you to really drive it home that we do have to choose ourselves first. We have all bought into this myth that we are to sacrifice ourselves, for our families. That's the sign of a good mother, right? Or a good employee, or even a good boss, or the captain of the ship. I sacrifice and I go down with the ship for everybody else. And it's really not the case. The thing is, you have to, there's the expression of filling your cup first. We're trying to fill up everybody else's and we have an empty cup. And none of us would get into a car thinking I got to drive 100 miles and you're the tank is on E,
Right.
you wouldn't do it, but we
Right.
do that to ourselves all the time.
Right.
And it's kind of crazy. There's the other analogy of the airplane. Put your oxygen mask on first before you kiss, because you're going to fall over, right? If you can't breathe and you don't have oxygen, and we don't. And I watched myself do that to me about a year and a half ago. And the message was totally given to me that I had to, do my own self-care. I had to prioritize that. And since things were so going with the kiddo, and I just kept throwing myself into that. I got to fix it. I got to do something. What am I not doing? And I got to make it right. And then all these other things. And oh my gosh, anxiety, I was having panic attacks. My PTSD was coming back. It was horrible. And it was because I didn't choose me. And I kept thinking I had to show something else to earn that. And when a lot of us have, as Guy and Elon of Satori Prime said, we never got taught it.
Yeah.
We never got taught.
That's
because
right.
we learn by example. And so if you're looking at your family and those people in your family that did that, right, you learned from them. Maybe you had the opposite. Maybe, you could say, well, no, actually my mom wasn't there or my dad wasn't there. And so now you're going to the opposite extreme, going, well, I'm going to totally be there. I'm going to be that parent who's always there. But we don't get to learn how to love ourselves. And that's what it really comes down to. And I know that's what Dr. Love is all about with her. And I love the Love in a Box, because that's what it teaches. It's about you getting in contact with you, with your heart, with your soul, like having that me time.
Yes.
Is what fills your cup.
It's everything. It's everything. And you have to make the time to do it. That's one of the most precious things that I tell people about when they get the Love in the Box. Don't just get it and just sit it up on the shelf and be like, oh, it's a cute box, and never go into the contents and really understand why I put it together. I put it together for a purpose. And the purpose is to have the self-care, self-time for you. Because when it's all said and done, you're the one who's got to lay on that pillow with all your regrets and what you woulda, shoulda, coulda done. If you just take the time out to just say, I'm going to put this time together for me, that's how you learn to choose you to do you. That's how. But you got to set that time to the side. So, but listen, I've seen you choose the time and get into the self-love journal that's inside
that journal, yeah.
and in the Love in the Box. And look at you now. Look at you now. Look how you glowing and how you just doing your thing. I mean, I'm just saying, look at the fruits of your labor, because you took the time to choose you. Now you can teach us how to choose to do us.
Yeah. Well, and we teach by example, and that's just it. I mean, we all learn by example, whether we realize it or not, and it's us doing that. And a lot of the speakers will say that, like, by us choosing ourselves and actually telling our kids and our spouses and even at workplace, hey, I am taking this time for me, and I deserve it. I need it. It's what I'm entitled to, and I'm going to take it. And then you're giving them permission to as well, because then you're modeling for them, oh, I am supposed to do that. I'm not supposed to just keep giving without. So it's important for you to do for yourself, but then, to teach that to your loved ones.
So let's get into your program a little bit. I don't know if I'm putting you on the spot or not, but do you have like maybe some of your speakers, who's going to be on there, what they're going to be talking about? Just kind of give them an idea. So if they want to sign up for it, they got an idea to be excited to see what they're signing up for.
Most definitely. One of the great places to go to right now, because I've been trying to divvy it out like that, is on my Instagram and on my Facebook pages, of breaking it up, because it's going to be sent out to you. This is the other thing. I know you're busy. Everybody's got busy and has so many things going on. Right. So it gets sent out over 4 days, the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Okay. And each day we'll have, 3 speakers in there. The last day has 4. There's a bonus wine tasting in there as well. So it's so cool. But so like first day is about community, confidence, and time, energetic time management.
And also, so it starts on Wednesday, May 5th, right?
Right.
Okay, and now give us you haven't given us your social media information so they can know where to go.
Oh, okay. Well, it's maybe I should put it there, or we can put it in the
I'll
thing.
put it
It's
in there. Okay, go ahead.
okay. It's Tracey, as you see down there, Tracey Tracey dot period Noriega, and that's both on the Instagram and on the Facebook.
Very
So
good.
at the end of those, it's both the same way.
Okay,
And
and I'll put
so
it in the comments when we
yeah, yeah.
this. I'll put it
And
in.
then they have the sign up in there too, and more about each of those speakers.
Okay.
On day 2, it's we're looking at more about pattern interrupt.
Mhm.
So the things we say to ourselves, how we go about things. So there's some visualization. There's some 3 really powerful speakers in there. The
Okay.
Satori Prime brothers, Kelly Canal and Christine Michelle, and they're all very, very, their truth. They just speak truth. It's like bam, right there, and coming from love, but it's tough love.
Hey, let me tell you something. I've been telling people lately, this heart of mine, this unique heart of mine, sometimes it's got to turn sideways and sometimes it turns upside down because, sometimes you just got to give the tough love the way you need to give it so that people can really get it. I just had a tough love conversation with one of my brothers this weekend. And when I tell you I got in his behind, oh my God, I got in his behind. And I was like, and I'm telling you this from a place of love. He was like, I know, Benita. I said, all right, well, get with it then.
Yeah.
So tough love is necessary. It is. It is.
Yeah, it is day 3. It's a little more about healing. We have some Johnny and Connie. They're both breathwork practitioners.
Okay.
I actually did a 30-day breathwork journey for them, and I really believe breathwork is really important. I mean, Benina, I've been writing a children's book, Mind Your Monkey Mind, and the first one is about the breath, about learning how to use that deep breath to stop, because we have to all stop reacting.
Yeah.
Take that breath and respond. Decide, how do I want to respond to this? How do I want to be, be responsible, able to respond in that way. And so they teach that. They teach, so many. I thought I knew breath work, and I did 30 days journey with them. And now I've got like a toolbox that's like one of those, the levels. Yeah. It's not the little rinky dink, Fisher Price, my first toolbox. Now I've got like, and believe me, I've been doing it while setting up this summit. I'm just like, oh my gosh, all these things you don't realize you're doing, holding your breath, your real shallow breathing, all these things, and how our breath is so connected to our physiology.
Oh, this is
the things we're thinking, and it can actually just change it. It can change it. So it could be a cup of coffee instead. When you're doing breath work that's like energizing, or wants to bring you down to go to bed if you're having a really hard time going to bed, and if you're getting triggered, if you're having like an anxiety attack, etc., you're just feeling like really worried and anxious. That's another thing. So they're on there. We have Rachel Grant, who talks about sexual abuse, and she and that was something that was really near and dear to my heart. I am a survivor, and I love the name of her program is Beyond Surviving. Okay. She's like, I don't want to just be a survivor. I want to know what's like beyond surviving.
Yes. What's after you've been through it. Yes.
Yeah. And she is powerful, and she's great. She's got a huge community, and she helps, adults, men and women, deal with their sexual abuse, because there's so many people out there who have had that happen and have never had the healing necessary for it, and I just really wanted to shine light on that, because that's a big part of mental and emotional health. If you've not worked on that stuff and healed that part, even me always having it there and working on it, it still comes up. I was just in a group today and we were doing meditation. It's still there. It still runs these little programs underneath. So healing that. Dr. Tiana Conte does a beautiful, she calls it revolutionary self-care practices as well. So that's day 3. And then day 4 is like, we're just save all the fun for last. Not that stuff wasn't fun too, but it's laughter with Pasha Marlowe. She is a marriage family therapist counselor, but she incorporates humor and laughter in all of her programs.
Yeah.
Okay. She has a podcast called Pleasure is the Measure. And some of her programs are called Roar with Laughter. I'm in one of her Facebook groups, and it's so fun. It's like it's just laughing at yourself, like when you're going through the shit. Sometimes you gotta laugh at it.
You got to. You need some laughter. You need some laughter in your life. You do.
Yeah. So,
Well, listen,
yeah.
it
So
sounds
yeah, laughter cacao, because there's cacao ceremonies. If you've ever been interested in that, if you heard about what are cacao ceremonies, Kat Smith's on there about that. We've got
Mhm.
cannabis and CBD. I have Dr. Michelle Ross, and she's going to talk about how you can treat so many different ailments, including mental health and chronic pain, with CBD, cannabis, kratom or kratom. I might be saying it wrong.
I hope it's great to.
And yeah, it's not kryptonite.
That might be
And
another addiction.
some chronic stuff there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, she covers all of that and how you can treat so many different ailments with that instead of all the big pharma stuff that is actually worse for you. And these things don't have the same kind of side effects and are much healthier for you. So she's all about plant medicine. She's going to be on there too and giving her thing. And then we have, what is it? Sam, the sommelier.
Mm-hmm.
She is going to do a wine tasting, so we'll have a wine taste. She's been doing virtual wine tasting because with COVID, she's had to resort to that. She's actually having fun, expanded her base, and she's been doing wine tastings internationally even. So
that's it. That's it.
Yeah, so lots of fun there. Lots of fun.
Okay, well, listen, it sounds like you have an amazing lineup. It's going to be an amazing event. All I wanted to do was just share this moment with you guys, with my followers and your followers. And therefore, if it's something, I love to share love. So, so I feel like that this was very beneficial to mothers, to women, because we really do need to learn how to love from overflow. We cannot love from an empty cup, period. If your cup is empty, you're no good for no one, not even for yourself. So I felt like this was beneficial to share. So, when we get off the broadcast, I'm going to have Tracey put in all her information and I'm going to put it in. And then if you guys are interested in signing up for this event, it starts on Wednesday, May the 5th. And so we just wanted to get the word out there, and please, please, please share with your friends. So if you're not interested, maybe it'll help somebody else. Mm-hmm. But anytime that, opportunity meets itself, and if there's something that you've heard in this broadcast and it resonated to you, that's your opportunity. That's your opportunity to meet something that may be in this event to help you get to the next level or help you clarify some things you've been praying on. You just never know how your answers will come to you. So, so I wanted to take this time out. We don't want to hold you guys too long. We just wanted to come on here for a brief impromptu meeting and broadcast and just share this information. When you have good things, you need to share it. Yeah. And so one thing about when it's time to do you and choose you, that's one of the things I've been doing. And I feel like if you go through, if you register for Tracey's event or even, something that pertains to you, that's when you can walk around with one of these teas, that one of these teas right here, right here, it's the self-love for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you walk around, you can really actually say, hey, I did the work, I'm glowing because it's the self-love for me, So, to walk around with the t-shirt, that's the reason why, I started creating merch, because it's a good feeling when you're glowing and you're in your lane and you're in your purpose. It just feels so good when everything's just aligning up. Yesterday, and I'll say this before I close, I was just in Walmart yesterday and I was picking up some things. And the lady I had on my It's the Self-Love for Me tee, and she said, "Oh, I love that shirt." I was like, and I had to think about it. I forgot I had the shirt on. I'm just in my mind about what I'm going to get, at the store or whatever. And she says, "I love that tee." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." I said, "Oh, this is my brand." She's like, "Oh, I love it." I was like, "Yeah." And come to find out, she is a principal at a school. She wants to get some teas for the students that are graduating. So that, yes, and for that are graduating, because she wants them to know that when they take out the time and the self-love for them in college, that's what's going to get them through. So I was like, oh my God. And then she was with her husband and he's a pastor. He said, "Well, we need to get some of those for the church." I'm like, God, you just wait a minute now.
See, if you advertise in love, and that's just it. I will close with this too, just to remind people. Yeah. you don't have to watch all of it, and it is on your time. And I, divvied it up that way. And on the Instagram and the Facebook, it says who's doing what, and it'll come out on the email.
Right.
And you watch what you like. Take what you like, forget the rest.
Right.
And pass it on to somebody else if you want to.
Right.
And like Anita said, you never know. All these speakers, the majority of them, well, I know all of them because I've followed them and been put in touch with them from person to person, and the majority of them I've actually worked with. Yes. So I can personally say they have made a change and difference in my life. And to me, it's really an honor and pleasure to have them on board to help me do this and to get that message out. It really means a lot to me that they said yes. And they chose
very good. Well, listen, y'all all said yes, because it took you to set the time aside to put this together. So you all said yes. So it's good. And then y'all are sharing good information. I know that this is going to bless someone. And as the love doctor, that's what I do. I share love. So I know that this is going to bless someone. We're going to end the broadcast. We're not going to take up too much more of your time, but we just wanted to put it out there, and we let you make the decision to give yourself permission to choose you and to do you. Okay, so that's the message from the love doctor.
Choose
Tracey.
Love. Choose love.
Yeah, choose love with everything you do. So we are out of here. And guess what? Somebody loves you, baby. And ain't nothing you can do about
it. All right, everyone. Have a beautiful rest of your never before lived day.
Yes.
Okay. Cheers.